So before we get started here, maybe if anyone just wants to raise their hand, if they can, anyone catch the daily bulletin from Matt Dixon the other day about stretch bands? People get a good look at that? All right, yeah, so some really good info in there. And what we will do is we're actually going to incorporate that into our preset today a little bit, or similar idea with that, where we're going to really just kind of focus on the catch part of the phase, to kind of do some drills on that. And then we'll also actually work on the finish as well a little bit in the pre before we get into our main set. But before we get into all of that, why don't we get going with our warm-up? And I will be right there with you guys here. So let's stand up and get moving a little bit here. You can see me okay? All right, so as usual, let's just start swinging it out. Getting the arms moving, just getting stuff loose. And we'll start just some simple arm swings, just kind of moving around a little bit. Some twists. Just starting to feel good. All right, and then we will go right into our arm swings. Let's start forward, pick an arm, square yourself off here, nice and square, and just get that shoulder joint moving. I'll do about 10 forward here. And then we will switch to the other arm. Just nice and slow. Again, just getting the joint moving. Sorry, I disappeared for a second there, and a little sun peeping over the railing. All right, switch to the other arm, backwards this time. So again, now as we go back, nice straight arm. Really feel that start to open up across the front of the shoulder, across the chest. Kind of almost reach back as you come over the top, but again, without twisting your body, but reach that arm back, just nice big swing. We'll do about 10 on that arm, and then we'll switch to the other arm. And again, you can almost just reach it back as you come over the top there. Get a nice big stretch in. We're stretching a little, we're moving a little, getting all of that in one here as we do that. All right, let's go back to forward, double arm. Big arm swings. You can kind of start to add a little more momentum to your swings as we get going here. Again, it's not just about moving the shoulders, it's also about feeling that stretch through the back, all those little muscles through the shoulder, across the front too, everywhere. All right, let's reverse it. Ooh, big stretch. Again, kind of reach back as you come up over the top. Really just nice and big through this area here. All right, let's do this stretch here where we're going to bend at the waist. So kind of position we're here, and we're going to do twisting arm swings. Just kind of moving things this way. Different planes of motion here. And if you want, you can do the Michael Phelps up on the starting block, double swing here. I do not have the flexibility at all to clap my hands behind me like he does. Maybe you guys do, I don't know. I can't quite get up there. Oh, Scott's got it. All right, let's come back up now into our streamline. Fix that. We're up here nice and tall, nice and tight. This is one of the things we talk about a lot, is practicing our streamline. Squeezing right over the ears, not behind your head, but right over your ears. And then you can kind of lengthen and elongate and get yourself right up off the floor. Just really reach up the ceiling, twist to one side, or stretch to one side, sorry. Stretch to the other side. We'll come back to the top. Then we'll do our coordination move here of the day. One arm forward, one arm back. And we'll just keep going in that same direction. One forward, one back. I've got right forward, left back. And we'll just keep doing that for about 10, if you can. It's always fun. If you can't, just go swinging. All right, now let's switch direction. So now I've got left forward, right back. Still working. Yeah, as long as you got to start here, just and rub your belly and pat your head. All right, we'll stretch up in the streamline one more time here. And just one last big stretch as we get going. Okay, that's good. Shake it out here. All right, so as I mentioned, for our preset today, we're going to focus on the catch as well as the finish. We're going to basically break down our stroke into two different parts here. And Start with one paddle. See if everybody can see me. If you can see my arm. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna start, you want tension on the cord. It doesn't have to be a lot, just enough so it gets your hand in the right position. If it's too loose, let's see if I can move this way, it's gonna be hard to get up and kind of create that tension we need to help push the right form of the stroke here. So all we're gonna do is practice is your arms gonna be straight out, your fingertips are gonna come down, here's your elbow, stays right in the same spot. Now if you'll notice, my elbow is actually pointed out. So right now it's pointing towards you, and it's gonna almost stay pointed towards you as I bend down right to here. Don't break the wrist. Wrist stays nice and straight all the way to the fingertips. We're gonna go from this position, elbow out, just to here. And even if you don't have the paddles on your stretch cords, you can still do this with a fist if you need to, because it's still that same motion. Just try not to break the wrist if you've got some swim bands without the paddle. But it's basically this position to here. So my elbow stays still, and it's just my hand and forearm that are moving. Now an advanced move, which is something that Dixon talked about, when we're swimming, we talk about reaching. Now we like to avoid using the term reach with your hand, because a lot of times when we talk about reaching to the other end of the pool, people end up doing this, and that's the wrong motion because you're stopping the water. So when the hand enters the water, think about pushing your shoulder forward. Instead of reaching with your hand, come in, push the shoulder forward, and we get into this position. Now, we talk a lot with the swim bands about staying nice and firm and solid. One thing you can do is you can get your shoulder. So we can kind of move a little bit this way to get the catch there. So you can push your shoulder forward, fingertips drop, elbow stays. So what we're gonna do for our pre, got my other cord here, is we're first gonna start out doing just 5 moves like this. We're not gonna start quite yet, but we're gonna just leave the elbows right where they are, fingertips drop down to this position. So my fingers are pointed straight to the ground, right back up, right down, right back up. So the other thing we're gonna work on after you do 5 of those is this position. So you're gonna get your elbows in, tuck to your side, and we're gonna start with the paddles right here, facing down, and we're just gonna go to here, right back. So this one, you're gonna feel this in your triceps. It's a little bit of a tricep move, but tuck in real close with your arms and just push right past the hip to your parallel. So we'll start out, we'll go double arm. We're gonna go 5 of this right here. Then you might need to take a step forward, move your arms, and we're gonna do 5 where we finish. And we're gonna do both arms together. So it should be a double arm to here. This is the front view of what that should look like. 5, this right here, elbows, so you can see my elbows pointing out. Fingertips come down. We'll do 5 like that, and then we'll take a step forward and we'll do 5 where we just do the back part of the stroke. All right, so I'll try to see as many people as I can here, see if I can catch something, but let's get started. We'll do 5 up top and then 5 on the back on your own. Here we go. Scott, looking good. Try to get your arms a little bit higher to start the catch. Yeah, right there. There you go. And the other big thing is making sure you don't lift your elbows up. So as you do that first part, make sure you aren't lifting your elbow up to get that pull. Greg, you're pulling your elbows back. Try to keep that elbow, just your arm stay. The only thing that moves is just the fingertips down. Elbows stay up. It's a little better. See how you're pulling your elbow back right there? Keep it up high, right in front. All right, and if you get through 5, you can take a short break here, and I'll tell you what we're gonna do next. So 5 up in the front and then 5 in the back. Call those finishers there at the back end where you're really engaging your tricep. You wanna have a nice straight arm, right even with your body. So maybe a little bit confusing as we get through this today, but I think it's an important thing to work on. And it's one of those where instead of just getting in and hammering away on the swim bands all the time, I think it's a great opportunity for us to really work on technique that will translate to the pool or to the open water as that stuff starts to open up. All right, so this time, instead of doing the double, we're gonna do one arm at a time. And you can do whatever you'd like with your other arm. If you have a setup where you have to hold the paddle out there, you can. If you want to just let your other arm drop down to your side, that's fine, or just use it as support. But we're just gonna do, we'll start with, say, just the left arm. We're gonna do 5 at the top, just to here. Then we're gonna move forward. We're gonna do 5 at the back, okay? And then maybe take another step back, and then we're gonna do 5 full pulls. So 5 at the front, 5 catch, 5 finishers, and then 5 full pulls. And that's all with the same arm. And then when you're done with one arm, you can switch to the other arm. So the big thing when we're doing the catch is that your elbow is stationary. Don't pull your elbow back at all. It should stay right in that same spot. See if that's something we can do. I mean, this is something you can almost do with your other arm. If you're doing one arm, you can just literally grab your elbow, grab your upper arm, and just focus on that. So we don't want to have this motion at all. The elbow does not come back. It stays right in place. It's just this. So 5 catch, 5 finish, and then 5 full stroke. And we'll do that for each arm. Yeah, Scott's looking good. Both Scotts are looking good. Jason, try not to lift your elbow or your arm higher than your back as you do that pull at the end there. Jerome, that looks great. Christina's looking good. Erica, that looks good. And then obviously we do the 5, when we get to the 5 full pulls, we're trying to connect everything together. We're trying to bring it all in for the full stroke. So really emphasize that catch, what you're doing at the top, and then right through the back. So 5 catch, 5 finish, 5 full for each arm. And as you're done, you can drop the paddles, or drop the cord, sorry. Okay, everybody's looking good. So it's a little bit tricky. It's, you know, it's somewhat easier as, you know, we're not displaced by water and having to think about breathing and do everything else. So that's why this is a really great opportunity. And this is one of those things where I encourage it to my athletes too. Once you are back in the water, still bringing in the stretch cord. So I know I have some of my one-to-ones that are able to get in open water now. And what we're doing is we're actually starting with a little bit of a mix. So if you are able to swim, for some of them, it's just getting in once, or it's harder to get to the open water than it is to the pool. So some of them can only go once or twice a week, but we're still including these stretch band sessions. And I think that's going to be a nice thing moving forward, especially as you are able to swim, is just to make sure you're building into the swim portion of it and not just kind of getting in and getting all the way after it. All right, let's do that one more time. We're going to go each arm again, and that'll be the end of our pre before we kind of start getting in some work today. But 5 catches, 5 finishes, 5 full strokes, one arm at a time. So just do maybe the left arm, catch, finish, full, and then switch to the other arm. So let me see here. Scott Philibom, make sure you're not dropping your head too much there. There you go. Perfect. And we're just, it's that high vertical forearm. We get down into that position. And really what that does is that enables you to use your forearm and your hand as a paddle. So when we're swimming, when we're doing the catch, we're not swimming with just our hands. We're using basically the whole forearm as our paddle to catch water. And that helps kind of, as we always, you'll hear people say with swimming a lot, to engage the lats by dropping, keeping that nice high elbow and using your forearm. That helps engage the back muscles and the lats to do most of the pulling. If you're dropping your elbow and pulling with just your hand, you're using a much smaller muscle group to pull, and you're not going to get as much power out of your stroke. Nice, looking good. And then again, as we finish up your 5, 5, and 5 on each arm, you can drop the bands, grab some water, and we're going to get rolling on our main set today. So we took a little longer with our pre here, but again, I think it's an important thing to work on. And this is one of those too, if you're doing these stretch bands on your own, you can always just throw in at the beginning just to get started, just that catch phase, just work a little bit on each arm, maybe both arms, just to kind of get the mindset and help get that ingrained for when you get going on the full thing. All right, so today we're going to, if you're still finishing up, that's fine. I will kind of talk for a minute here as we get going. We're going to focus on that form a little bit more with some longer, kind of, I guess we would call more like endurance type of efforts here. And the important thing with that is as the time goes on, you're obviously going to get more and more tired. That's when the form starts to fall apart. So we're going to focus on the form early and then try to maintain that through the set, especially as things start to get tired and starts to break down a little bit. But we're going to mix that up with some of the more power pulls, those double arm power pulls I like to do a lot, where we're going to have high tension. And that one, it's really important to try to set up the catch on top, what we'll call on top of the stroke, so that you can really use that power to push through the back using your lats in the back and everything right through the end there. But all right, we will get started. We're going to do 2 minutes straight here, 2 minutes straight of pulling. We're going to alternate single arm, so just like swimming. And as always, when we do these longer alternating type efforts, this is about finding that rhythm. Let me grab my cords again. I know we have, maybe I hadn't seen it before. So it's trying to almost like a swimming rhythm. So one arm comes up, we're in this type of motion. If you're doing it this way, it's a little too rigid. But the important thing is, with each stroke, this is what happens first. That elbow stays still, fingertips drop, elbow stays there, and then we get into it that way. So we're gonna go 2 minutes straight, alternating single arm. We'll start in 15 or 20 seconds here, and then we'll take a little break before doing some high tension double arm. So this is more of like an endurance effort, RPE of like a 5 or 6, like a 75% type effort as we get going. But all right, we're gonna start right here in 5 seconds. We're gonna do 2 minutes straight and go. So the important thing is to set up good form on these and find that rhythm. And as we get going and we find that rhythm, we really also want to make sure we're not doing a whole lot of bouncing. So rhythm is more in the hands moving and not bouncing the upper body as we go. Greg, make sure you're finishing all the way through the back. Get that arm nice and straight right through the back there. If you need a little less tension, that's fine. All right, everybody's looking good. Find that rhythm. Don't let those elbows drop on the catch. We're just gonna hit halfway right now. So we're halfway through. This is where we're starting to get tired, starting to feel it a little bit. And this is where the form is gonna start to fall apart. So this is where you really wanna work on the emphasis of nice high elbow on that catch. So Megan, your left arm looks like it's dropping a little bit there. You know, if you're getting tired, that's okay. But think about dropping the elbow and pulling back with the arm. You don't want the elbows leading the way. We want everything to just drop right down and pull straight back. Elbow stays nice and high. Everybody's doing great. Make sure we're not dropping our head here as we get tired. Nice steady head position. Got 15 more seconds. Five more seconds. Okay, and rest. Nice job. We'll take at least a solid 30 seconds here, and then we're gonna go right into 30 seconds straight of double arms. So we're gonna be pulling both arms at the same time, fingertips down, elbows up and still, high tension on these. As once you get the elbows dropped, really excel through the back. And as I always say with these double arm, it's a power stroke. So we're here and then really push through the back, right back up, set up the catch, really push through the back there. Doesn't have to be super fast to get into this position. This is where we just are working on form still on the top. And once you're here, it's power through the back. It's almost like the example I like to use is if you're trying to get out of the swimming pool, you're gonna be here, if your hands are up on the pool deck, and you're gonna get to here and you're gonna pull out, push out of the water, like this. I mean, if you're out here wide or your elbows are down, it's a lot harder to get out of a pool going this way than it is if you get your elbows up on top and push down that way. All right, so we're gonna do 30 seconds straight. We'll start in 10 seconds. This is high tension double arm. And if you need to adjust partway through and get a little closer because you're not able to finish the stroke, then do so. All right, here we go. 30 seconds straight. Starts right now. Go. Nice high power here. We want to have a lot of tension, but we still want to make sure we're able to finish the stroke with a nice straight arm parallel to the body. 10 more seconds. 5 seconds. And rest. Good, nice job. Okay, we'll take another 30, well, maybe we'll push this one up to closer to a minute rest here, give some rest as we're getting through that. But we're gonna drop down that straight effort. We're gonna go back to finding that rhythm, working on technique and form for 1.5 minutes straight this time. Again, this 1.5 minutes straight is all about finding rhythm. It's all about form. We don't need a lot of tension on the chords. Really what we want is just to have that form, working on that high vertical forearm, right? Nice high elbow, everything comes down that way. Jody, your cute little kitten there is distracting me. Nice. All right, we'll get started here in about 15 seconds. We're gonna do 1.5 minutes straight, 1.5 minutes straight. And again, the key words here are form and rhythm. Form and rhythm. We're gonna go in 5 seconds for 1.5 minutes. And go. All right, just fall right into it here. Kind of, again, that swimming type rhythm. Let's see. Scots are both looking good. Jody, that looks great. Megan, it's a good catch. You're still pulling back with your elbow first a little bit. So yep, just right into that position. Got another 1 minute left. There's a lot of different analogies out there to help with the dropping of that arm between, like I said, getting out of the pool. Another thing is to imagine you're almost trying to grab a barrel. You've got a big round object. You're kind of getting your arm over that and grabbing that barrel. But it's really all about keeping that elbow high and keeping it stationary, points out a little bit until you get the fingertips underneath the elbow, then you start your pull back. We've got 30 more seconds. A nice neutral head position. $15 more seconds. Nice flat back as we go, if you're standing. Okay, and rest. Excellent. Take a little break here, and then we're gonna go another 30 seconds of the double arm, another 30 seconds of the power high tension double arm. And again, I want you to have as much tension as you can on these for the double arm, so much so that you can still finish your stroke. Okay, we talk about this a lot. If you're only able to get to here, then you've got too much tension. We wanna make sure we're finishing here every time, all the way through the back. So we're gonna go in 10 seconds. We've got 30 seconds straight of high tension double arm pulls. This is power. That is the only key word here is power. We're gonna go in 5 seconds. 30 seconds straight starts right now. 30 seconds. Right through the back. Excellent. And I'm seeing a lot, most people look a lot better with the double arm, and especially under that high tension of getting your elbows up. So it looks really good. Got 5 more seconds. And rest. Excellent. Good job. All right, we'll take a little break here before we keep moving on. We're gonna go back to our alternating single arm, just 1 minute this time, just 1 minute. But we'll take a break, let you stretch your arms out a little bit. We'll get going in about 30 seconds at this point. So take this opportunity, yeah, stretch, exactly, kind of get that. I know everyone's probably feeling it right behind the shoulders at this point, so get that all stretched out as best you can. We're gonna go in 15 seconds. We've got 1 minute straight, alternating single arm. Okay, we're gonna go in 10 seconds. Now they got my watch in front of me here. Okay, 1 minute straight. Starts right now. Go. This is form and rhythm on this one. Form and rhythm. Megan, that looks better this time around. That looks good. Erica's got her extra bands on. I can see that's making a big difference. That's great. You're halfway there. Twenty more seconds. Let's try to hold position on these. Got 5 more seconds. And rest. Excellent. So we'll take a rest before we do another 30 seconds of high tension double arm. We're going back to our double arm power here. We'll take a little rest, but we've got 30 seconds straight of that. And we'll get going in 30 seconds or so as we work our way through here. So now we're shifting our focus from form and rhythm to power. Power on this. We want to have high tension, finishing our stroke. Really think about pushing hard through the back end of that. We're going to go in 10 seconds. We've got 30 seconds straight of double arm. We're going to go in 5 seconds. Okay, and go. 30 seconds straight. Double arm power. All right. You might find, again, once we add a little bit higher tension, it might be easier to find that catch on the front with that high elbow. It seems to be the case for some people here. So that's good. And we got 5 more seconds. And when we go to that single arm, we just want to try to translate that feel. Okay, and rest. All right, nice job. We'll take our break here, and then we were going to keep climbing on down to the 30 seconds now of alternating. So that should be a breeze after doing 2 minutes and a minute and a half and 1 minute. We only got 30 seconds now. 30 seconds of alternating single arm. Back to our focus on form and rhythm. Form and rhythm on this. So not as much tension. Setting up that high vertical forearm at the front. All right, we'll get going here in about 20 seconds. 20 seconds. We'll do 30 seconds straight. Getting towards the end here. Okay, we're going to go in 10. Okay, in 5 seconds. All right, 30 seconds straight starts right now. Alternating single arm for 30 seconds. There we go. Form and rhythm. We are halfway there. Greg, that's looking much better. Very good. 5 more seconds. And rest. All right, nice job. All right, we'll take a shortish 30 seconds-ish, 30 seconds maybe about of rest here. Then we'll go 30 seconds of double arm. We're going back to our high tension double arm pulls. High tension on this. And power. We're going to go in 10 seconds. 30 seconds straight. Hard double arm pulling. We go in 5. Okay, and go. 30 seconds. Really push hard through the back. As I said, you can get the catch set up and then accelerate through the back of this pull. These nice tight triceps on the end of this. Got 10 more seconds. Okay, and rest. All right, let's drop the cords. We'll take a little bit of an extended break here, grab some water. We don't have too much more, just a little bit. We spent a bit of time working on that form early on, but now we'll take a minute or a couple minutes here of rest before we just finish up on the end here. So not too much more, just a little bit. I want to give you a break. So what we're going to do is we are just going to finish up again with, oops, let me set my thing here. What I want to do actually before we get going, we're going to do one more 2-minute interval of alternating single arm. But what I'd like to do is before we get going on that, we're just going to one arm at a time, practice this a little bit. And you don't have to do it yet, continue your break, but we're just gonna do about 5 pulls. Not a lot of tension, but just practicing that part of it. So we'll spend about 20 seconds or so going just the top part of the catch, and we'll take another little break, and then we'll go into our last 2-minute effort. All right, so we'll get going, let's see here. 30 seconds, we'll start. We're gonna work just on that catch portion a little bit, and then we're going to translate that right into an extended effort. So we're setting up the technique, we're setting up the form here, and then we want that to translate right over into our last effort of the day. So not too much here. But all right, let me grab the cords, grab your swim bands, we'll get set up, and we'll spend just about 30 seconds. We'll start in about 5 seconds. We're going to spend about 30 seconds just on that catch portion. All right, so go ahead and get started right now. One arm at a time, just kind of alternate through and really focus. So take a peek at your elbow, see what you're doing. Watch your computer screen, maybe if you can see your video of yourself. Just trying to work on that catch with a nice high elbow. So don't bring the arm back at all. Don't let the elbow come back, just right on the top. We'll do this for another 10 seconds or so. Jason, make sure when you're starting that, it's right up at the top. Just the catch, just up top. All right, let's take a little rest. Let's keep that memory, that muscle memory of the catch fresh in your head. We're gonna rest here for about 20 seconds. Then we're gonna get going on 2 minutes straight, alternating single arm. Don't need a lot of tension on this, enough tension so that you are able to practice that catch up front. And again, this is really just about form, working on the catch. And again, as always, with the alternating single arm, really work on that rhythm. Now, the other thing you can start to work on a little bit on this if you'd like, actually, and this is kind of a little bit more of an advanced move, but as we are doing this, you can almost think about not moving too much, but as we talked about, pressing that shoulder forward. So instead of going here to start your pull, it's here. So it's just in the shoulders that you're pressing forward, pressing the shoulder forward. You can kind of see, try this angle. So instead of just this motion, it's just a little forward with the shoulder. The important thing is that you don't end up wiggling yourself too much. All right, we'll get started in 10 seconds. We're gonna do 2 minutes straight of alternating single arm. I'm gonna go in 5 seconds. And go, 2 minutes straight. Remember, we want to really focus on the catch portion here. That elbow stays nice and still as the fingertips come down. So don't start pulling the arm back until you've got your fingertips down underneath. Looking good. Megan, that's looking better. Christina looks good. All right, we're making our way through this. This is the last thing of the day. It's a nice extended effort here, working on form and rhythm. We are halfway there. We've got 1 more minute. Everybody's still looking good. We're coming towards the end here, so this is where things might start to fall apart. Make sure we're not bouncing. Make sure we've got that nice neutral head position. You want to make sure that you don't bury your chin into your chest, but also we don't want to be staring straight up ahead, straining your neck. Got 30 more seconds. Make sure we're finishing all the way through. We don't want to neglect the back end of the stroke. 15 more seconds. All right. 5 more seconds. Okay, and you are done. Nice job. That is gonna be it. So shake it out, stretch, grab some water. Everybody looked really good there. That was great. Yeah, really make sure we stretch through the shoulders. Ooh, yeah, get the arms moving still. And yeah, that's good. So today, any questions? I know we kind of got a little technical there. It's a little bit confusing. I'll try to keep infusing some of that, some more of the technical aspects of it into what we're doing here. But does anyone have any questions on anything we did today or anything in general, really?
John, I don't have any questions today. Just want to say thanks. I got to jump off for a meeting. Thank you very much.
Oh, you're very welcome, Greg. Nice job.
Yeah.
All right.
Bye.
All right. Yeah, that's so. Megan's saying, yeah, the more you think about it, the less smooth you feel. It's true. I mean, and that's one of those things with swimming. Is it is one of those overly complicated? Well, it's not overly complicated. We make it overly complicated. You know, it's one of those, you just get it in it's like a golf swing, right? You know, you think about trying to fix it and then it just all goes haywire. It's kind of the same thing with swimming. If you tend to think about it too much, it's a little bit overwhelming. And that's the other thing is sometimes it helps to just focus on one aspect, just one thing at a time. So if you think about all I'm going to really think about today is just the catch. That's it. You know, or I'm just going to, if you're in the pool, it's like, I'm only going to think about rotation. You know, so sometimes it's easier to break it down that way, but yeah, it does tend to be, or it can be a bit overwhelming if you're thinking about everything all at once, for sure. All right. Everybody's feeling good, I guess. Excellent. All right. Well, thank you, everybody. And I will see you all hopefully on Sunday. You have a great day.